Connecting Central Texas. This is Good Morning Texas.
Hey, good morning. It's 6 o'clock. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Joey Horta.
And I'm Sharday LaRay. Listen, it is a good morning so far, huh? It's not bad for a Monday, especially as you walk outside. Hey, it's definitely feeling like summer morning.
It is. I can use an ice cream already, and we're going to talk about that later. But Josh, what's on tap for today?
Yeah, a little humid to start the day, guys. There's going to be a humid one out there today. Not as warm as it has been here over the last few days, but we'll have the potential for a couple of showers. And already we are tracking a few of those. If you're watching out towards Gatesville, Lampasas, Coppers Cove, there are a few spotty showers. If you're heading south out of Waco to the Austin area, there is some flooding going on there. And as you look at the rest of Central Texas, things are rather quiet. Now, for your drive, don't expect too many issues for that morning commute. This afternoon, though, we could see a few of those spotty downpours. These rain chances will hang around for a few days, but I'm tracking summertime heat on the way. I'll have a look at that 10-day forecast coming up.
New this morning, shots fired overnight in Temple, and the suspect is on the loose. Police tell us a man was shot around 1:30 this morning on South 26th Street. He is expected to survive. Officers are now trying to figure out if this shooting is connected to another shooting on nearby South 32nd Street overnight. Police say 2 homes and a car were shot up there. No details on a suspect yet. If you know anything, call Temple PD.
Continuing coverage this morning, sentencing set to start today in Belton for convicted murderer Cedric Marks. Marks was found guilty last month, the murder of his ex-girlfriend and her friend back in 2019. Police say he disposed of their remains in Oklahoma. Marks could get the death penalty.
Right now, 2 people recovering after another shooting in Bosque County. Investigators say it happened early Sunday morning at a home on FM 1991. The victims are in stable condition. Authorities say they have a possible suspect, but they're not releasing any details just yet.
An investigation continues right now after a wreck leaves a Killeen man dead. It happened Saturday afternoon at the intersection of Rosewood Drive and East Central Texas Parkway. Dark Scott Jr. died in that crash. At last check, 2 others are in critical condition.
Killeen's new police chief will be sworn in today. The ceremony for Chief Pedro Lopez is coming up at 1:30 this afternoon at the Lions Club Killeen Senior Center. Lopez is replacing Charles Kimball, who retired earlier this year.
And more confusion around Fairfield Lake State Park as it now is closed once again. The park closed to the public last night ahead of the end of Texas Parks and Wildlife's lease. The state says they still hope to pursue options to buy the park. But starting today, park staff will start removing equipment from the park. And TPWD commissioners say they will hold a special meeting on June 10th to consider acquiring the property there. And studies show nearly half of domestic violence victims won't leave their abusers if a pet is involved. Many domestic violence shelters don't accept animals, so victims feel like they don't have a place to turn to. That's why the Family Abuse Center right here in Waco is kicking off its 20 for Tails campaign. They're looking to set up an on-site area for pets.
We understand that allergies and dogs are just a concern. Some people don't like animals, and we understand that, so it would be a separate space away from everybody else, fenced off, so that nobody would be threatened by any animal.
Psychologists say it's important for pet owners to keep their animals nearby, especially when going through a traumatic event. They also say it can help people process trauma and improve their mental health.
For people who don't have someone in their life that feels safe to have that physical touch with, pets can help meet that need, reduce stress, prevent or produce calm, reduce anxiety.
Family Abuse Center staff say they've seen residents struggle without their pets and hope this helps them out. Their goal is to raise $20,000 and break ground by the end of the year. Well, airline shortages continue to impact travelers across our country, and experts are saying it could last for almost a decade. And local aviation students are working to become pilots with hopes to help fill that need.
25 News reporter Nakea Simon live in the newsroom now with how one student got his wings and is helping others do the same. Good morning, Nakea.
Good morning, Joey and Sade. That's correct. His name is Sang-woo Han, and he was born and raised in South Korea. Growing up, what amazed him the most was when he was living in the mountains where the airplanes that flew over the places he lived and traveled. He knew that his dream was to one day fly in the sky, but his high school grades was not enough to become a pilot in Korea. That is when his aunt and uncle, who are also Korean residents, invited him to Central Texas and landed on the college that would change his life.
I always dreamed about it when I was a kid, right? So that's why I came to Central Texas College here and then asked questions to flight instructor, department chair, chief flight instructor, right? And then that's how I got started. But I mean, it was not easy to me to first, but once I got into the program, like everyone was sort of helpful.
During the summer, Han is helping other students just like him, teach them how to fly with hopes to groom more pilots that can help the shortage that we are experiencing right now. Coming up on Good Morning Texas, we'll share more of Han's story and his experience will take in the skies. Back to you, Sade and Joey.
And wait for that. Thank you, Nakea. Well, a local nonprofit looking to help families beat the heat this summer. Caritas of Waco and TXU Energy are teaming up to hand out more than 200 box fans tomorrow, actually. Now, they'll be handing them out to clients, and this is part of a program that's helped people stay safe and cool for the last 25 years.
Speaking of cool, Dairy Queen looking for its biggest fan. There's a big prize, too, for anyone who can prove they're all about the DQ. We've got a special guest stopping by, serving up mouth-watering details.
Ooh, but first, tragedy strikes a community east of Dallas. A senseless shooting leaving one person dead and others injured. We break down those details after the break.
And I'm tracking what could be a wet day for some. I'll walk you through who could see some of those rain chances coming up.
We don't want ice cream to melt today, so we got our AC already cranked up, and it's cool in here. There's something coming up you don't want to miss here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, I feel a breeze coming from this way. Don't want to give it away, though. But yes, Josh, how are we feeling for people stepping outside this morning?
Yeah, it's a humid morning out there, guys. It's going to be a warm afternoon, but compared to where we should be this time of year, it's not going to feel too bad. You just may have to dodge a couple of showers out there later on this afternoon. Let's get you outside, give you a look at I-14 in Bell County. Temperatures are sitting in the upper 60s right now, so it is a little humid out there as you are starting off your day. And look at the radar across the state. You notice a little bit of a spin right here in the center of the state. That's a broad area of low pressure, and since that's there, that is forming a couple of showers, a couple of thunderstorms here this morning. A couple of downpours there across parts of Lampasas into San Saba County. These are very spotty, though, and notice as they form, they fall apart quickly. So you may get hit by a little splash and dash shower here this morning. If you're heading south into the Austin area, they are dealing with a little bit of flooding, so watch for that on your commute south, and even a little downpour that's just formed there south of Bryan College Station. That's pretty hefty downpour in Burleson County. Mid-70s at 10 o'clock. We'll be back in the low 80s by noon, and late this afternoon, mid-80s, and that's when we'll have to watch for a couple of these scattered afternoon downpours. You can see how this plays out on Future Track. Again, the coverage a little lower than what we saw yesterday, but if you get hit by one of these, you get some brief heavy rainfall, some gusty winds, so you may have to dodge a few this afternoon. Overnight, we should wind down a bit, and then tomorrow in the afternoon, we have that potential for a few more again. I think by Wednesday, we're kind of dry, but watch what happens as we get into the weekend. We'll keep a couple of showers possible as high pressure starts to develop on our west. Until that moves into our area, we keep small rain chances around. Once that gets here, the heat starts to build. Take a look at your 10-day forecast. Mid to upper 80s here through Tuesday, lower 90s through the end of the week. I'm eyeing the potential for mid-90s next week, guys, and that may not be warm enough. We could be talking about summertime heat as we get into early next week.
Well, Josh, I scream, you scream, we all scream for everyone ice cream. Dairy Queen's blizzards are a great way to beat the heat, of course, and the restaurant chain is searching for the biggest DQ fan in Texas. And joining us this morning to talk about it is, it's the whole crew this morning. We got Curly, correct?
Yes.
And introduce yourself to everyone.
I'm Carolyn Alvey. I'm with the spokesperson with Texas Dairy Queen Operators Council.
Awesome. And since Curly can't talk, you will be representing him today.
Yes.
And we're talking about a super cool, no pun intended, contest out there to look for the biggest fan, DQ fan. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, so last year we celebrated our 75th anniversary in Texas, and we had some fun with that. So this year we thought, what can we do that's a little more fun, but bring all of our big fans from across Texas? So we are scouring Texas for the search for the biggest DQ fan, and we're asking for people to tell us why they are the biggest DQ fan.
Wow, listen, my mom was already excited about this. She thinks she is the biggest DQ fan. I'm like, Mom, I don't know. What are you going to do for the prizes? Tell me a little bit about the prizes.
Yes, so once you enter at dqtexas.com/biggest DQ fan, you can tell us why. And if you are chosen as the biggest DQ, you get Dairy Queen treats and eats free for a year.
Y'all.
Yes.
Y'all hear that?
Yes.
If it's free, it's me. I'll always say that.
Yes, absolutely. And then Josh Abbott is the new voice of the very famous Texas jingle. That's what I like about Texas. So he's given us some swag to give. And then we have Dr. Pepper swag. We have Dairy Queen swag. So we have all kinds of fun things for our biggest fan.
All right, so this is not my audition, but I do want to sing the song. DQ, that's what I like about Texas. There you go.
I think we need to have Josh come sing
That's
with
what
you.
I'm like, Josh, I'm ready to partner up. But okay, so basically, how do you enter to win this contest?
It is so simple. You again, you go to dqtexas.com/biggest DQ fan.
Okay.
And there's a place for you to tell us about why you are the biggest DQ fan. Up to 250 words. Just tell us what makes you the biggest fan. So simple. Tell us what city you're from, because we're looking all across all cities, all towns in Texas. And then if you have a photo of yourself that makes you, a bigger reason why, then upload that. You don't have to have a photo.
Yeah.
More importantly, it's just we want to hear from you about why you think that you're the biggest DQ fan.
I got it. All right. Well, cheers to that. I'm going to lick it because it's so frozen.
Yes.
There we go.
So good.
Oh, it's so good. All right. Well, we'll be back after this break. Stay cool.
6:18 now. These are the top stories we're following.
Investigators looking into a deadly plane crash that sparked panic across the Washington, D.C. area. Military jets scrambled to the plane after it flew into restricted airspace. Now, that caused a loud sonic boom heard in D.C. and 2 other states. The pilot was not responsive. The plane eventually crashed in Virginia. All 4 people on board died.
A train crash in India kills nearly 300 people and leaves hundreds more hurt. Investigators believe a signal failure led one train to switch to the wrong tracks and ram into another train. Authorities are trying to figure out if it was human error or a technical problem.
The U.S. Navy responding to a distress call off the coast of Iran. U.S. and British sailors came to the aid of a ship being harassed by Iran's Revolutionary Guard. Now, this particular area is a crucial oil route, and encounters have increased in recent years.
I do like to skip right to dessert, that's what we do. Why not?
Right.
YOLO.
Come on, but kids, don't try it at home. Okay, let's have a healthy breakfast this morning. Don't eat ice cream for
Just
breakfast.
come to my house. I'll give you ice cream.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. But you're going to need it because it's starting to get hot.
Yeah, sticky out there.
Yeah, it's going to be warm and muggy this afternoon, guys. Already we are tracking a few showers out there. Very cloudy as you look at the Clark Roofing Cam in Waco. I'll take you down to Burnett County. That's where you're seeing a few of these downpours this morning. They're near Bertram, near Florence. Also a couple there to the west of Lampasas and a new little downpour near Snook in Burleson County. The rest of us fairly quiet, but it's that same little area of low pressure that's firing those off that will give us a pretty good chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Overall, I'll put that chance of rain at about 40%. Very scattered downpours. If you get under one, you get heavy rainfall. If you don't get under one, well, it's just warm and sticky out there. Mid-80s this afternoon. Should normally be at 91 this time of year, and overnight we'll fall down into the 60s. We'll be approaching those normal temperatures and may actually exceed them as we get into next week. I'll have a look at that full 10-day forecast coming up.
Josh, thanks. Around Texas, police are searching for 2 suspects after a shooting leaves a woman dead and 4 others hurt. 3 of those are kids. Shots rang out in Sunnyvale, east of Dallas Sunday, and police say the suspects in a black vehicle followed the victim's car into a lot, and when they got out, they opened fire.
It's a horrific scene, and it's not anything that I'd want my officers to be dealing with.
The woman died at the scene. A man and his 3 kids were taken to the hospital. His condition is not clear, but the kids are expected to be okay. And police are hoping to track down surveillance video that would reveal the getaway car. Well, Texas is joining more than a dozen other states, making it harder for transgender kids to get gender-affirming care. Governor Greg Abbott signed the bill into law Friday. This stops trans kids from getting puberty blockers or hormone therapies. The new law will go into effect on September 1st, but could face some legal challenges. Something as simple as changing the channel on your car radio can have deadly consequences.
Just ahead, what TxDOT wants you to know about distracted driving to help save lives. It's now 6:21, and we'll be back after this break. Well, these are no blizzards, but I think it's, hey, I think it's even better. It's time to give away a free Good Morning Texas coffee mug.
Let's do it, guys. Congratulations today to Johnny Guerrero. Congrats, Johnny. We'll let you know where you can pick up one of these Good Morning Texas mugs.
And if you want one, just go to our website, kxxv.com/contest. Click on that mug right there, and then give us your email address. We'll give your name a shot in our next giveaway. That's coming up here on Tuesday morning. In the meantime, getting ready for maybe some rain?
Yes, that's why we're getting so much humidity.
Yeah, it's a little humid out there because the atmosphere is just real stagnant this morning, but that will lead to the potential for some showers, and already there are a few of them that are impacting some of your morning commutes out there. Not everyone's seeing this, but as you look at radar, you will see a couple of them out there, especially down the south. I think that's where we're seeing the biggest coverage this morning. Waco, Temple, clean, you're dry. Take you out to the west, you can see a couple of showers that are moving down 183 in northwestern Lampasas County. Also some showers northeast rather of Burnett, and some pretty good thunderstorms over Austin and Hayes County down there to the south of Austin. So if you are traveling south down 35, you may encounter some of that. Also a pretty good downpour south of Bryan College Station near Snook. Now, as we go through the rest of the day, we'll see about a 40% chance of rain today. You'll notice that activity very scattered, not as high of a coverage as yesterday, and we'll start to dwindle that coverage down as we go through the rest of the week, and high pressure starts to take over for the weekend. So rain chances hang around through about Thursday, and then things will dry out a bit. May have a spot shower or thunderstorm Friday and Saturday. Guys, those are mid-90s next week. Summertime trying to crank on up here.
Lock the door.
Summertime. I know, right?
Much more to come here on Good Morning Texas.
It's now 6:27, and we'll be back after the break.
Central Texas. This is Good Morning Texas.
Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Joey Horta.
And I'm Sharday LeRae, TGIM. But before we hit the road for, kids are out of school by now,
that's right.
But work or maybe a little part-time job. Let's take a look at what's happening outside.
What's going on today, Josh?
Yeah, waking up a little muggy this morning in the upper 60s, guys. It is going to feel humid through the day today, and we may be dodging a couple of showers already. You're seeing a few of them this morning. This one just to the northeast of Burnett could be producing some brief heavy rainfall. Another one south of Georgetown, and a pretty good thunderstorm southwest of Bryan College Station down towards Snook. Rest of us fairly dry. We'll bring in those rain chances later on this afternoon. 80 degrees by the lunch rush. Your afternoon commute is where I think you'll have to watch for some of these spotty downpours that will be out there. Mid to upper 80s this afternoon. It's going to be warm. It's going to be muggy. We may be tracking a few thunderstorms. Now, beyond this, it looks like the heat is going to be building in. I'll have a look at that 10-day forecast coming up.
All right, Josh, thank you. New this morning, shots fired overnight in Temple, and the suspect is on the loose. Police tell us a man was shot around 1:30 this morning on South 26th Street. He is expected to survive. Officers still trying to figure out if the shooting is connected to another shooting on nearby South 32nd Street overnight. Police say 2 homes and a car were shot up there. No details on the suspect yet, but if you know anything, call Temple PD.
Continuing coverage this morning, sentencing set to start today in Belton for convicted murderer Cedric Marks. Now, Marks was found guilty last month in the murder of his ex-girlfriend Jenna Scott and her friend back in 2019. Police say he disposed of their remains in Oklahoma. Marks could get the death penalty.
Also this morning, 2 people recovering after being shot in Bosque County. Investigators say it happened early Sunday morning at a home on FM 1991. The victim's now in stable condition. Authorities say they have a possible suspect, but they're not releasing details yet.
An investigation continues this morning after a wreck leaves a Killeen man dead. It happened Saturday afternoon at the intersection of Rosewood Drive and East Central Texas Parkway. Dark Scott Jr. died in that crash, and at last check, 2 others were in critical condition.
Killeen's new police chief will be sworn in today, and that ceremony for Chief Pedro Lopez is coming up at 1:30 this afternoon. It's at the Lions Club Killeen Senior Center. Lopez is replacing Charles Kimball, who retired earlier this year. Airline shortages are impacting travelers nationwide, and experts say it could last for nearly a decade. Local aviation students, though, hoping to be the solution.
25 News reporter Nakea Simon is live in the newsroom this morning with how one student got his wings and is now helping others to do the same. Good morning, Nakea.
Good morning, Sade and Joey. His name is Song Woo-han, and he was born and raised in South Korea. Living in the mountains there, he often saw airplanes fly over the places he lived and traveled to. Now he's able to take flight with those pilots that inspired him. Take a look. The sights and sounds of planes traveling through the skies sparked a dream in Sang Woo-han to one day be a pilot.
We went to one of the airline maintenance facility, and I saw Boeing 747, which is like, I'm speechless still, like how big that was and then how tall it is. Like for like kids perspective, that huge piece of metals is flying, and not only just flying, having cargoes with the passengers in it. That day changed my life.
But the road to becoming one was not easy.
Unfortunately, my GPA wasn't that good enough to go to aviation school in Korea.
Having to travel overseas for an opportunity of a lifetime.
After that, I majored general study because I didn't know CTC had an aviation program. So, but one day, fortunately, I found the pamphlet that says Central Texas College Aviation Program with the Texas A&M Aviation Science degree. So I researched about a little bit more of aviation, and then, yeah, that was correct. Central Texas College had an aviation program.
Han is now raising the bar to new heights with faculty and his peers.
People that are coming through those programs are filling a critical infrastructure need within the United States because of his passion, his motivation, his enthusiasm for aviation in general. It's really nice to have a student like Han who comes in with a focus, with a goal, with a vision, and then drive for it.
And today, he is giving back by teaching and encouraging others that they too can fly as high, just like him.
Oh, my life has been changed because that's what happened to me. I've been always flying for airliners or commercial flights, but I control the airplane. That's the moments that I feel, oh, this is the freedom with the responsibility.
We're all hoping to one day see Han fly with one of the major airlines that we all travel with. For more information on the aviation program, you can visit ctcd.edu. Back to you.
I'm going to be looking for him in the cockpit next time.
There you go. That's very inspiring. Love it.
Hey, we're starting the day off skipping right to dessert. Why not? Dairy Queen's looking for its biggest fan, so do you have what it takes? A familiar face is paying us a visit to let you know how to win some free DQ.
That's what we like about Texas. What we also like, though, is that good old barbecue. And smoking a brisket isn't just cooking, it's an art form. The local program spreading the gospel of meat science, that's in about 8 minutes.
Well, I understand there's either a small, medium, or large blizzard in this forecast. It's crazy.
So crazy. Listen, we're talking about blizzards, ice cream this morning. We're talking about barbecue in just a few minutes. All the makings of a great summer.
It's coming in just a few months ahead of time, too, guys. I mean, yeah, big cool down coming. Not in the weather department, though. We're talking about heat coming back into the forecast. Today, not so much. It will be in the mid-80s in the afternoon. Eventually, some thunderstorms potentially in the afternoon. I'll show you what's going on out there right now. There's really not much happening across Bell County as you look at the Clark Roofing Cam and Killeen, but we have a broad area of low pressure sitting right over the center of the state, and that is leading to a couple of showers and thunderstorms, even as we're kicking off this morning. Now, Waco, Temple, clean, dry right now. I don't anticipate too many issues for that morning commute. If you are in Burnett County, though, that's a pretty good downpour south of Briggs, south of Bertram, moving towards Burnett, also near Georgetown, and some flooding happening in the Austin area. So keep that in mind if you are heading south. Even in Burleson County right now, pretty hefty downpour here south of Bryan College Station near Snook. That even spitting out some lightning. The rest of us fairly dry, though, and I don't anticipate many issues for the first part of the day. It's the afternoon when we'll have to watch for some of those scattered afternoon downpours. Temperatures in the mid-80s, they'll feel like 90 when you factor in that humidity. You can see those scattered downpours going through the afternoon. Again, the coverage lower than yesterday, but it'll be that same type of thunderstorm activity where you get those bubbling up showers that can produce brief heavy rainfall. They rain themselves out, others form, and they fall apart quickly. Once we get into the nighttime, the activity goes away. Tomorrow, even less, and we'll actually continue this trend of isolated showers through Wednesday before things dry out for a good part of the end of the week. By the weekend, maybe some showers is on the edge of this high that's going to start to build in. Once that high builds in, the heat starts to crank. It's looking like that will happen as we get into next week. So upper 80s here the next few days. Mid 90s coming in Friday and Saturday. Look at next week, 94, and that may not be warm enough. Some models go even hotter than that into the upper 90s. So summertime could be on the way.
Thank you, Josh. Well, ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Today, Dairy Queen's looking for the biggest DQ fan in Texas, and Carolyn Albie's here to tell us how to get in on the action here. Good morning.
Hi, Joey. How
Hi.
are you?
I'm doing great now that you guys are here.
I know. Well, Curly came to join us this morning. I've got a new summer menu blizzard.
Oh, thank you.
That's a puppy chow.
Puppy chow.
Yeah.
What's in that?
Oh, wait till you taste it. It's got all kinds of delicious things in there.
My dog might like it too.
No.
No?
No. Don't give it to your doggy. No.
But wait a second.
Yeah.
You didn't flip it upside down, so
Oh, yeah.
it's free now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. You guys are here because you're looking for the biggest fan. What does it take to be the biggest?
Well,
Any pointers?
That's what we want to know.
Yeah.
Who is the biggest? And yes, I've got some pointers. So, you know, DQ has been a 75-year tradition.
Yeah.
This is our 76th year in Texas. So big tradition in Texas. So all those fun graduations, those parties, those fun events, maybe going after school with mom or dad, or starting. We've had a lot of fans tell us that that first day of school, mom and dad picked them up every year and took them to a Dairy Queen and enjoyed a sweet treat. So we want to know what made DQ your favorite place to go, and why are you the biggest fan? What makes you the biggest DQ fan in Texas? So we're scouring the whole state.
Gonna have to think hard about that. So what do you win if you become the biggest fan, if you're named that?
Yeah, well, that's the funnest thing because a whole year of treats and eats for the winner.
Are you kidding?
Yes.
So like you can go there breakfast, lunch,
You can
dinner,
go
everything?
there whatever you want for the whole year. And then we've got Josh Abbott is the new voice of the Texas iconic song Jingle. That's what I like about Texas. He's given us some swag. Dr. Pepper's given us some swag. We've got some DQ swag.
Nice.
You can't beat it.
No, you can't beat it. And this thing is frozen like a rock. It's ready for its TV debut.
Yes.
I love just doing this. This is so fun when
there
they
you
do
go.
that. I'm always like,
yes.
right?
Yes.
It turns heads every
It's
time.
our soft serve is just a perfect combination. And when you go to your DQ and it's whoop, you know it's good.
And this guy's just sitting here chilling the whole time.
Curly will
Ready to
be
go.
at the New Road location this morning from 10:30 to 12 to meet fans. We could talk a little bit about the competition and are we going to find them in Waco? That's what we want to know. Will we find the biggest DQ fan in Texas here in Waco?
I feel like the answer is yes. I feel like that person's here.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Contest goes through August 6th. And then we'll announce the winner on August 14th.
All right. And we go to your website to apply?
Yes, dqtexas.com/biggestdqfan. There you go.
All right. Well, I'm going to take this ice cream, guys. We'll see you later. We'll be right back.
Bye, Curly. Well, there's nothing more Texas than brisket. Barbecue lovers from around the world coverage on the Texas A&M campus each year for Camp Brisket. Ever heard of it? I've never heard of it.
So good. This is a crash course in meat science and how to make the perfect barbecue. Here's Mark Austin.
It's rare to find an artist carrying a shovel, but people travel from other states and countries just to see 88-year-old Texas pitmaster Tootsie Tominetz work her magic.
TLC. tender love and care. You have to take care of it. You have to watch it. You have to pay attention what you're doing.
Tootsie's been right here since 2003, and in 2008, this place was named the best barbecue in Texas.
We are here at Snow's Barbecue in Lexington, Texas, right between Austin and College Station. And for a lot of folks, this is the center of the barbecue universe. It inspires a lot of us to want to learn even more about how to make that perfect brisket. So our next stop, Camp Brisket in College Station.
This year, Texas A&M's Camp Brisket drew people from 22 states and 3 foreign countries, and Tootsie's rock star status was on full display.
She said I had to get a picture with Tootsie. That was the rule.
This class is a tough ticket to get. Some have waited years to be here.
It's incredible. I mean, you're in a room full of meat nerds, right? Like, what could go wrong?
Jess Pryles hosts Barbecue Quest on Hulu.
It's a really interesting dynamic because all of our speakers are either professors or professional pitmasters. And I'm sort of in this weird hybrid world of I've seen the professional side of things, but I'm also just a home cook.
You know, first thing you do is...
So much of the information that they get at camp is about restaurant cooking, and that actually takes a little bit of finessing to learn how to do that for home.
Camp Brisket students take a crash course in meat sciences, learning cattle anatomy, meat trimming, beef grading, knife and wood selection, pit design, panel discussions, more panel discussions, and lots of questions.
The most common questions we get usually are what's the temperature, what's the temperature of the smoker, what's the temperature of the end product of the temperature, should I wrap or not wrap?
We'll get to that.
It's the first lunch break, and what do we get to do? Sample brisket. We are about to grade it on things like flavor, tenderness, juiciness, and overall like. Don't think that's going to be a problem.
It turns out making good barbecue is a 3-act play. Repetition is key.
You know, the first act is getting the right product, getting it trimmed, getting the right seasoning on it, getting the fire built and such. Act 2 is everything that you need to cook and go through all of that. And then Act 3 is the culmination where you remove it from the fire, let it rest, hold it, and let it just kind of get in good shape for the serving.
Smoking low and slow may be the rule, but as this class preaches, resting the finished product is now gospel.
Probably the best thing to do is if you want brisket for supper, have it ready to go for lunch and properly hold it and such. But in that time, it's almost like the juices all get reabsorbed. Everything becomes softer.
Dr. Saville also imparts this wisdom: experiment with your technique, but not too much.
Don't change 5 things at one time. You'll never know what worked or didn't work.
Another thing we took away from Camp Brisket is that Texas barbecue has, like most things, evolved.
So we're seeing a lot of fusion with things like Tex-Mex barbecue, even we're seeing a lot of Asian barbecue as well, Korean barbecue, and it's going to be representing the multiple faces of Texas.
Boo Aker runs Aker Barbecue with her husband up in Fredericksburg.
I use a Korean ingredients, make a rib with smoke, and then I make sauce for it. So that's actually really popular. It's a we call it gochujang ribs. It's a pepper paste base sauce. It's a little spicy and sweet, and people love it. And we also have house-made kimchi and some of the Korean sides.
Fresh off her appearance at Camp Brisket, Miss Tootsie is back at Snow's, where she talks about old school barbecue in a way that can't necessarily be taught.
So it's just a lot of tender love and care put into it.
Half a pound of brisket, please.
And the thoughtfulness of what people will think when they are eating it. You want a good product, you want a pretty product. I fall back to my TLC.
I'm so hungry right now.
Oh,
I'm
all
ready.
of that looks. But I've never seen anyone wear the dad barbecue sandals. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know. Just Google dad barbecue sandals. Every dad wears these barbecue sandals. They're like brown sandals. That means that they can get down on that grill.
Look out. Hey, whatever it takes. It's 6:50 now. In 2 minutes, the sonic boom breaking out over Washington.
The mishap causing the military to scramble fighter jets.
And I'm tracking what could be a wet day for some across central Texas. The latest on our rain chances coming up.
An investigation underway this morning after a civilian plane crashes near the George Washington National Forest.
Fighter jets respond, causing a sonic boom that's heard all over Washington, D.C. John Lawrence has the latest.
Travis and Hannah Thornton were recording a song when something unexpected happened. That was a sonic boom caused by US F-16 fighter jets as they attempted to reach a civilian aircraft Sunday.
This was something that was intentional, and they were trying to get to this airplane with the pilot who was not responding.
Officials from the North American Aerospace Defense Command say the sonic boom came after its craft were authorized to travel at supersonic speeds. The Federal Aviation Administration says the private plane left Tennessee and was headed to Long Island when at one point it changed directions, eventually crashing in Virginia.
That plane overshot its initial destination in New York by about 315 miles.
President Joe Biden was golfing at a course on Joint Base Andrews at the time. The U.S. Secret Service says its security posture for the president remained the same.
So it does not seem, at least right now, that this was something that was intentional. Not like something it was a terroristic act. This is something where the pilot was not responding and they had to send fighter jets to rule out some possibilities.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Investigators say all 4 people on board that plane were killed in the crash. A federal investigation is now underway. It is 6:54. These are the top stories we're following.
Shots fired overnight in Temple, and the suspect is currently on the loose. Police tell us a man was shot around 1:30 this morning on South 26th Street. Now, he is expected to survive. Officers are trying to figure out if this shooting is connected to another shooting on nearby South 32nd Street overnight. Police say 2 homes and a car were shot up there. No details on a suspect, but if you know anything, please call Temple PD.
And Kileen's new police chief will be sworn in today. The ceremony for Chief Pedro Lopez is at 1:30 this afternoon at the Lions Club Killeen Senior Center. Lopez replacing Charles Kimball, who retired earlier this year. Now back to the forecast because we're kicking off a new week here. People going back to work again.
Yes, back to work. But listen, Josh, a lot of people probably going to be happy that we have rain expected in the forecast. Not class. No class, kids. You're out of school.
Yeah, they have to watch for a little bit of rain out there later on this afternoon, guys. Upper 60s right now. It's plenty muggy out there. You can see the humidity that's in place. And in some cases, that is leading to some showers. You're seeing them fire down the southwest towards Burnett County. Even Coppers Cove getting in on a little bit of light rain. Down towards the Austin area, there's flooding and a good downpour that was falling over Snook. Now just some moderate rain south of Bryan College Station. I think the better rain chances will come in this afternoon. The first part of the day should be fine. You just see a couple of these spotty showers, but by afternoon, we'll be watching some of those scattered downpours, kind of like what we saw yesterday. We'll keep the easterly winds around on the light side, and that's when we could see a couple of those downpours firing is in the afternoon. Now, overnight, things should wind down. As we get into the afternoon tomorrow, we may still have a couple of showers, and I even can't rule out a spot shower on Wednesday, but then things should dry out a little bit starting Thursday. That's when we'll start to see the temperatures climb, and as high pressure starts to develop to the west, while we're on the edge of that, we'll keep a couple of showers and thunderstorms possible Friday and Saturday, and then beyond that, the high pressure starts to build in. Once the high builds in this time of year, we start to see that big time heat. As far as how much rain we could see through Sunday, if things add up correctly, you could see half an inch, nothing too heavy. And then the heat starts to build. So 90 on Wednesday, 91 Thursday. We'll start cranking it up from there. 93 Saturday and Sunday, guys. We could be approaching 95 early next week. So that summertime heat is on deck.
See what he did to Curly? He made him melt.
Yeah, he's gone. So long, Curly. Hey, thanks for starting your day with us. GMA's next.
And we'll see you here on midday. Have a good one.